Good morning. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate the Belgian presidency for its remarkable achievements so far at a time of great transition for our own union and also at a time of great geopolitical change. Yesterday, we were given the opportunity by the Belgian presidency to join our enlargement partners to celebrate 20 years since the historic accession of the 1st of May of 2004, that also saw the accession of Cyprus in an accession that saw 75 million Europeans join the European Union, our common home, the greatest political project of the 20th century. The Union is very much a project that evolves. It is very much a project that is transformative for countries that choose to follow this path. Today, we are joined by our enlargement partners to discuss rule of law in the enlargement process. Rule of law is the cornerstone of the European Union. It is a core value that we need not take for granted, but rather that we need to promote and strengthen. A message is very clear. Enlargement is a transformative process for those that choose to follow it. It is a merit-based process that is based on strict and fair conditionality, with each country assessed on its own merits. And this is very much a message that we convey to our partners as we support them in their path, and where they deliver, we stand ready to deliver as well. Enlargement has gained a renewed momentum given the geopolitical changes that we are witnessing. In this context, the Union stands as a beacon of stability and peace and prosperity in the world. It also stands for its unifying force. It healed the wounds of war after the Second World War. It is in this unifying force that Cyprus, the last divided EU member state of the Union, aspires to. In our second session today, we will discuss our own rule of law toolbox in the enlargement process. And then in our last session, we will discuss the future of Europe, and within this context, of course, we will discuss the issue of internal reforms. Thank you very much.
What message are you going to convey to Georgia?
That where Georgia, a partner of this union, delivers in its accession path, in its European perspective, the EU stands to deliver as well. What is important is to remain committed to the reform path, is to remain committed to EU values and principles. Thank you.
Bonjour, how are you this morning? For us and for all European people, I think it's a very, very important day. For the first time, we are going to gather to have a council, not only with the 27 member states, but with all the partners with European perspectives. And it's a very strong signal that we launch to them today. It's that they are part of the family already, even if they need to reform, and we need to reform as well. Donc, je vais continuer en français, comme ça on va faire honneur à toutes les langues. Je pense vraiment que c'est un signal très fort qu'on envoie à tous les partenaires qui ont reçu une perspective européenne. Donc, en menant une réflexion avec eux sur l'état de droit. Vous savez que la Belgique est très attachée à l'état de droit. On a décidé de mettre l'état de droit comme une priorité parce que finalement, c'est ça qui nous rassemble, c'est ça qui fait la valeur ajoutée de l'Union européenne. Nous sommes bien plus qu'un marché unique, pour reprendre le titre de l'étude que nous avons demandé à Enrico Letta, même si c'est important évidemment de mener encore des réformes sur notre marché intérieur, c'est encore plus important d'avoir des valeurs de démocratie, de liberté, d'état de droit, qui sont celles du départ de l'Union européenne. Parce que finalement, qu'est-ce qui fait que l'Union européenne est toujours aussi attractive aujourd'hui? Qu'est-ce qui fait que des millions encore de citoyens nous regardent avec l'espoir de faire partie de cette fabuleuse aventure, comme il y a 10 ans, avec 75 millions de nouveaux citoyens qui ont rejoint l'Union européenne? Eh bien, c'est le fait d'avoir des droits, d'avoir des libertés, liberté de mouvement, liberté d'expression, indépendance de la justice, liberté des médias comme vous. Donc c'est tout ça qu'on veut renforcer. Donc on va avoir une première partie aujourd'hui avec un dialogue ouvert, un échange avec les partenaires qui ont cette perspective européenne pour savoir quels sont leurs freins, quelles sont les difficultés qu'ils rencontrent. Je sais, pour avoir beaucoup discuté avec eux quand j'ai fait un tour dans tous ces pays-là, qu'il y a une lourde charge administrative, par exemple. Donc, comment les aider? On a des relations avec l'Institut d'Egmont, qui est pas loin ici, où on les entraîne, où on essaye d'alléger le fardeau administratif, mais aussi d'implémenter concrètement ces réformes. Donc ça, ce sera la première partie. Et puis, on va avoir une deuxième partie. Vous savez qu'on a commandé un rapport à l'Institut IDEA, qui est un institut international de la démocratie et d'assistance dans l'organisation des élections. Et donc, il y a toute une série de recommandations qui ont été faites. Et on va leur poser, ça c'est pour les 27 uniquement, 3 questions très simples. Quelles sont pour eux la priorité qu'ils veulent mettre en avant? Quelle est une priorité qu'ils veulent retenir, donc souligner, et une autre priorité qu'ils auraient envie d'ajouter à celles qui sont déjà proposées. Et donc, vous savez qu'il y a dedans aussi des comparaisons du respect de l'état de droit entre les différents États membres. Donc, je sais que ça a un petit peu froissé certains États, mais c'est important. Je pense qu'on a un état des lieux de state of play, du level, du niveau de chaque pays membre. Donc on aura cette deuxième partie avec une discussion ouverte, un échange sans tabou. Et puis une troisième partie où on va travailler sur la feuille de route qu'on va mettre en place pour que le Conseil européen suive en fait cette feuille de route pour implémenter ces réformes et renforcer notre union, faire en sorte que notre union puisse répondre en fait aux défis à venir, qu'on soit capable de prendre des décisions vite, quand on est confronté à des défis inattendus, comme ça arrivera souvent, comme ça arrivait dans le passé avec, par exemple, la pandémie ou la guerre en Ukraine. Et donc, 3 parties importantes de cette journée, et puis on se retrouvera pour les conclusions ensemble lors d'une conférence de presse.
Madam Minister, today we will have discussion with the candidate countries and we will have bilateral meeting with Georgian Foreign Minister. What's your main message to Georgia?
Yes, I will have a bilateral with them, and indeed they have adopted a law which is a kind of step back on the way towards the integration. We regret that, and we are going to have a very open discussion without any taboo, and then we will see how we can support them and how we can change that situation. Otherwise, they will not have a way forward, I'm afraid.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. We are very pleased to be here today. It's a very important GAC meeting since we are celebrating 20 years of enlargement. And I think that this is a very symbolic moment with a very important message for the candidates and the aspirant countries. We really think that enlargement is a very important geostrategical investment in peace, stability and security. And from the Romanian point of view, since we were the beneficiary of this
enlargement, but also now a member state with a very strong message in support of enlargement. This is a crucial moment. So we have witnessed that enlargement has a new momentum, which was decided by our leaders back in December. And the message that we are sending today is that enlargement really worth the effort, and we Romanians, since we have joined the European Union back in 2007, we are a vivid example of the success of this policy. We all see that Russia is still continuing the war. It's still giving a lot of suffering for the population and a lot of damage on the integration, on the structures, and material damage is there. So we think that enlargement is a proof also of being an instrument for peace, because what we would like to do is to protect the member states, to show them that European Union is a space of stability, of prosperity, and if the candidate countries will really uphold our values, they will do the reform necessary to enter the space, then Europe will be united again, more cohesive, more resilient, and our global posture in the international world will be definitely stronger. So Romania is a very strong advocate of enlargement. We also think that today, when we will listen on the steps that the partner states have taken and the challenges that they have, for us it will be very important, because we will listen and then we will decide on what will be the best recipe for the partners, for us to cooperate and to find the policies that will help, support and continue the enlargement. As for the future of Europe, the reflection today will continue, and we will see what kind of policies we can promote in order to have more benefits for our European citizens, and also to prepare the Union to be better equipped to act on the international world. I think that both enlargement and deepening the European integration are important, and our message is that we are prepared, we will work together, we will instill political will, energy and measures that will allow us to complete this process at the end of the day. And by the way, I think also that enlargement is to be a topic that will be discussed with the view of the European Parliament elections, and I think we need to address a good message for our citizens for the continuation of the European process, and also for the support of the partners in the Western Balkans and in the Eastern Europe. Countries such as Ukraine, Republic of Moldova and Georgia that are under tremendous pressure right now, and we need to give them the proper encouragement and the proper message to continue their reform, because Romania, again, it's an example. If we continue, we are members of a very important stability area where our citizens are protected and they live in prosperity. Thank you very much. Georgia is also benefiting for the enlargement, as Georgia has received the candidate status, and I think now the government has to promote the reform process, and we really think that the draft law on the foreign agent are not corresponding to the European Union values, but together I think we can find the best solution to advance the progress and the preparation according to European values, which are the state, rule of law, and all the fundamentals that need to be at the core of the process of preparation. I'm sorry for... Oh, yeah, I understand. Well, as you know, Romania offers multi-dimensional support for Ukraine, mainly in regarding of protecting the refugee people, and also I think we have a pivotal role when it comes about the transfer of the grain for Ukraine. 60% of the solidarity lane are working, and we are sending the grains there. I'm not. We will not take part of this conscription effort, as we mentioned, because it is the decision of the Ukrainian government and of the citizens that are refugees in our country to join or not the war. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning. It's an honor to be here today to participate in the informal meeting of the General Affairs Council Ministers representing my country, Republic of Moldova, for the first time. We very much look forward to the discussions as we move closer to the first intergovernmental conference that will set the tone for the next step for my countries. Thank you. Bye.
For that, but at the same
Good morning. As Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of the Republic of Kosovo, I came today in the hope that we will have an open and frank discussion about rule of law, integration of the Western Balkans and other inspiring countries to become members of the European Union, and to discuss about the level of democratic standards and rule of law standards that are necessary to be fulfilled before we can join altogether the European family. I hope that the conversation today will be constructive and that the Republic of Kosovo can contribute as champion of democracy and rule of law in the region of the Western Balkans in setting new standards for the new members.
Dear friends, colleagues, Ukraine has been invited today to address the clause of reform ahead of the meeting of European ministers in June to make a decision to actually adopt the negotiation framework and hold the first intergovernmental conference, which will launch the negotiation process with Ukraine and hopefully with Moldova. So this is the last opportunity for Ukraine to use to have a negotiations with the colleagues and present its report. So I was pleased to be invited by Belgian Minister of Foreign Affairs to take part here. So yesterday, NATO Secretary General has paved his visit to Kiev as well, and there's been a very strong agreement on a number of decisions to be taken by allies on additional elements of air defense. So we're looking forward for this decision to be taken while all Ukrainian cities has been suffering following the massive missile attacks, and Odessa and Kharkiv has been massively shelled with a massive amount of civilians who have been wounded and murdered by Russian Federation. So I'm using this opportunity of being here in Brussels to make another outreach for the partners and allies, but also to mobilize political unity on decisions to proceed with the decisions on additional sanctions, decision on immobilized Russian assets to be used to recover and reconstruct Ukraine and procure more military support to Ukraine, but also make another close on EU and NATO.
Will you discuss the potential help or assistance
Well, we're waiting for one of the key commissioners of European Commission in May, June this year in Kiev, and we are preparing for that. But at the same time, I just want to make it clear that there is a difference between the statutes of temporary protection in Europe for those people who requested that. This is the basic requirement of human rights, and it should not be distinguished between men and women and any gender
related to that. The domestic measures taken by Ukraine are taken to make sure that we can have a record and plan the further mobilization. And let us remind that the war is not the time which brings only positive decisions. First and foremost, it's death and massive losses among civilian population, among military people, and we have to proceed with the mobilization as long as the war is raging on. So first we need to make a record of those who can be mobilized, but it does not necessarily mean automatic mobilization, as well as it does not necessarily mean depriving a person of a status of temporary protection. Thank you.
Good morning. The main or the big topic of today is, of course, enlargement. We have several candidate countries here, future candidate countries here, and in the center of the enlargement process is, of course, the rule of law, the rules that have to apply to the coming members, but of course also to the present members. And well, when we look at the challenges we have within the Union, it's clear that the problems with the rule of law inside the Union is a grave concern. Finland is really committed to a merit-based approach. The EU has to be a loyal partner. We have to support the candidate countries, help them do the reforms needed, and provide for a clear perspective towards membership. But in order to have a merit-based approach, of course, we have to support the countries. And here I especially look at countries like Ukraine, to some extent also Moldova. Both are under heavy pressure. Ukraine is now being occupied partly temporarily by Russian forces. We have to help Ukraine militarily, and here our words really need to be turned into action. Several countries have done a big share of the support. Several countries have not done their share yet, and this really needs a strategic, it calls for a strategic European approach all in all. When the EU enlarges, we have to be competitive. We discussed the Ricoletta report yesterday, and I can't emphasize strongly enough the importance of getting our single market in order. If we continue on this path where we have national state subsidies for investments, we will by definition not be competitive, and in the end the EU will not win. China and the US will race ahead. So at the same time, while we have a credible enlargement process, we really have to take care of our own house, and here strategic competitiveness is at the center.
Its light is so bright. So tomorrow Estonia will celebrate 20 years full membership in European Union. And for us and Baltic states and all the others who joined at this time, it was a historical step, because I can say that without this membership and also the membership of NATO, I couldn't stand here as a Foreign Minister of independent Estonia, because we know that Russia has been a threat and will remain a threat. Now Russia is committing the full aggression towards Ukraine, but we know as well that Europe is strong and Europe must enlarge. Estonia is supporting the enlargement processes naturally, because it is in our genes. Because without enlargement, I think that Europe will be weaker. So we have to focus on supporting these countries. We started the enlargement processes. Also, we have to increase our support to Ukraine, and we must continuously support Ukraine. It is very important. And also, we have some concerns with Georgia about adopting different laws. So we have to follow as well and discuss today how the enlargement process will follow the rules and the basic understanding and the values of European Union. Thank you. This is a question of Ukraine, of course, and we have met as well President Zelensky during his visit to Estonia. So by law, these people and these men should go and serve the country. But the President Zelensky message was as well that if they are not going, they just need to support Ukraine. So it's a question of Ukraine. We are not going to take any special steps or measurements about that in Estonia. We are not sending, but it's a Ukraine question. If these people are not following the law, then it's a different question. But we don't have this kind of discussion right now in Estonia. So thank you.
Good morning. Morning. I'm Jennifer Carroll McNeil. I'm Minister for European Affairs in Ireland. We're delighted to be here this morning with my colleagues speaking about the importance of enlargement. And it's very hard not to be struck by every engagement that we have at a European level about the importance of the defence question. And in Ireland today, the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Defence is taking legislation to Cabinet to remove the historical restrictions on the Irish Defence Forces participating with the requirement of the Security Council approval. So it's a very, very important step taken by Ireland today to take a further step towards the support that Ireland wants to have as European partners in the very important discussion about defence today. So very happy to be here to discuss that with my colleagues and represent Ireland. Okay.
Good morning. Yes. Today's General Affairs Council is being held in the context on 20th anniversary of the biggest enlargement in history of European Union. And that's why we are going to celebrate this very important time and this very historic decision. And there is a reason to celebrate. Together we are stronger, together we are richer, together we are safer, together we are more resilient, together we are more competitive. And in this context, we are going to talk about the future enlargement. We are going to discuss with the candidate countries. Today, we are going also to talk about the rule of law in the context of enlargement. So I think that it will be very fruitful meeting and a very good celebration of this very important anniversary. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm very happy to be here. It's today and tomorrow we will celebrate 20 years of celebration of the large enlargement. And I'm very happy that the Belgian presidency has put this on the agenda and also that they have put the rule of law on today's agenda. Enlargement has been proven for the geopolitical situation. It's important for the democracy and freedom and also for prosperity. And rule of law is a cornerstone of that enlargement. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Nous sommes réunis ce matin pour débattre et échanger sur ce que nous avons de plus précieux et de plus cher, la démocratie, l'état de droit, les libertés et les droits fondamentaux, ce que nous avons créé l'Union européenne pour préserver et protéger. Protéger contre les ennemis de l'extérieur, contre les assauts répétés des mages du Kremlin, des ingénieurs du chaos. J'étais hier à la Maison Jean Monnet avec mes homologues allemands et polonais pour dénoncer publiquement une nouvelle salve de 31 sites associés à des canaux Telegram et destinés à propager de la désinformation russe pendant la période électorale dans 19 pays de l'Union européenne. J'appelle les grandes plateformes de réseaux sociaux, les moteurs de recherche à déréférencer et bloquer l'accès à ces sites qui compromettent la sincérité, l'intégrité des processus électoraux dans l'Union européenne. Protéger l'état de droit également contre ces ennemis de l'intérieur. Nous avons créé de nouveaux mécanismes de protection de l'indépendance de la justice, de la liberté des médias, de la protection des minorités ou de la lutte contre la corruption avec la conditionnalité financière. Ces outils ont montré leur efficacité en en évitant ou en permettant d'éviter la dégradation des conditions de l'état de droit dans un certain nombre d'États de l'Union. Il nous faut sans doute aller plus loin pour renforcer ces outils et préserver l'état de droit dans toute l'Union européenne. Ces échanges, nous allons les avoir avec les pays candidats à l'adhésion à l'Union européenne, ce qui est l'occasion de rappeler que nous fêtons demain le 20e anniversaire d'un grand élargissement, celui de 2004, qui a contribué à renforcer l'Union européenne et à en faire cet îlot de démocratie et de protection des libertés que beaucoup de peuples nous envient et auxquels qu'ils aspirent à rejoindre.
Hola, muy buenos días. ¿Qué tal? Como sabéis, este es un Consejo Informal de Asuntos Generales que se va a centrar en ampliación, en Estado de Derecho y en el futuro de Europa. Ayer y durante la jornada de hoy hemos celebrado el 20º aniversario de la adhesión de 10 Estados miembros en 2004, que desde luego muestra el éxito del proyecto de la ampliación, el éxito del proyecto europeo, y es un proyecto inspirador para ahora nuestros vecinos en los Balcanes occidentales y nuestros vecinos en el este, el trío del este, en su proceso y en su camino de adhesión a la Unión Europea. Durante el desayuno vamos a discutir con ellos sobre el Estado de Derecho. Después tendremos una discusión solo Estados miembros de la Unión Europea sobre Estado de Derecho y finalmente un almuerzo sobre el futuro de la Unión Europea. El Estado de Derecho es la piedra angular del proyecto europeo y lo vamos a tratar desde las tres vertientes. Es una exigencia, es un requisito en el camino de adhesión de los Estados miembros, pero también es un listón alto para la membresía de la Unión Europea y también el camino que inspira nuestras reformas para el futuro, para estar preparados para el camino de la adhesión.
Sobre las negociaciones de Gibraltar, ¿nos puede contar si ha habido algún avance en las últimas semanas desde que hubo el encuentro en Bruselas y si hay fecha para más?
Sabréis más detalles en las próximas semanas, pero como sabéis, hace poco hubo una reunión ministerial en la que participó el ministro Álvarez y el ministro Cameron y el vicepresidente ejecutivo Šefčovič. Esa reunión permitió acordar las líneas políticas generales sobre el aeropuerto, movilidad de personas y movilidad de mercancías, que permiten que en estos días estemos trabajando en las preparaciones de este acuerdo con grandes esperanzas de poder cerrarlo en los próximos días, pero no podemos dar una fecha todavía. Les puedo confirmar, el ministro ayer dio más detalles de estas negociaciones en su comparecencia en el Senado y les puedo confirmar que tanto el ministro como yo hemos estado en contacto con el Gobierno de Andalucía y con los alcaldes de la zona para que tengan los elementos del acuerdo.
¿Pero habrá un encuentro aquí en Bruselas con el comisario para finalizar?
En los próximos días estamos en contacto a nivel negociadores, yo mismo por la parte española, pero si todo va bien, como esperamos, es de esperar que hubiera otra reunión a nivel ministerial, incluido con el vicepresidente ejecutivo Šefčovič y el ministro Álvarez. Muy bien, muchísimas gracias.
Good morning. It's great to be today in Brussels, now on the occasion of the informal GAC meeting. We have a number of important topics on our agenda. Yesterday, we started our gathering with a beautiful event on the occasion of the 20th anniversary of the big enlargement which took place with 10 new acceding countries. And it was a great opportunity to recall ourselves about the value of the enlargement process, if it's done properly, if it's well managed, and if it gains transformation on the side of the acceding countries. These considerations are of the utmost importance now when we are considering once again reinvigorating the enlargement process, which we also see as the investment in stability and security of our continent. Today we will have a first informal gathering with the representatives of 10 aspiring countries, and it will be a great opportunity to see what are the challenges they face in reforms when it comes to rule of law. We are here to offer them our assistance, but also our encouragement to be firm on this EU path. On Croatian side, we will definitely send that kind of message, because we really believe that enlargement is really the right development path, and countries who are within the process should take all the advantages of it, which includes also their own transformation to fit our standards and values. Later on, we will have our internal discussion on how to uphold the rule of law in the enlarged European Union. We will have the opportunity to exchange our views, our ideas, to discuss about our existing rule of law toolbox, in particular in the context of enlargement. And last but not least, we will also have the possibility to continue our discussion on the future of the European Union and the future of Europe, and to discuss concrete steps which are in front of us, in particular what would be the elements of the roadmap which we would like to adopt at the European Council in June. Thank you. Sorry, Ukrainian? Mm-hmm. Well, I would say we have really offered, even in Croatia, a refuge for a number of Ukrainians who really fled before the aggression and before the war. Now it is really up to Ukraine to decide in which way it will also enhance recruitment vis-à-vis also individuals who are now outside of the country. And I think it is really up to Ukraine to undertake the moves and to decide how to deal with it. Okay, thank you.
Good morning. I'm very glad to be here on behalf of Bosnia and Herzegovina, because Bosnia and Herzegovina have no other path, no alternative but full membership of European Union. Of course, we are somehow in the middle of the road. Hope we are a little bit more than that. But for us, it's very important not to have only a safe trip, but a safe destination, not only a good direction to European Union, but good landing. So we hope that this opening of the negotiation talk, accession talk, will be fruitful, and we will do our homework in a very short period of time. It is also a very special occasion during the Belgian presidency of the European Union, and in the light of the ongoing threat from Ukrainian war that is continuous. And we hope that this will be a sober kind of warning that we have not all the time that is given, but we rather have the shorter period of time that we have to use it. Any question or so? Thank you.
Guten Morgen. Gestern haben wir hier die 20 Jahre Erweiterung gefeiert, und das ist wirklich ein Grund zu feiern. Die EU-Erweiterung ist eine Erfolgsgeschichte, deswegen wollen wir sie fortschreiben. Die Zukunft der Länder des westlichen Balkans, von der Ukraine, von Moldau und auch von Georgien liegen in der EU. Damit wir die Erweiterung auch durchführen können, müssen wir allerdings auch die EU vorbereiten. Wir brauchen einen Prozess von Parallelreformen und Erweiterung. Und deshalb müssen wir jetzt im Juni eine ambitionierte Roadmap zu diesem Thema verabschieden. Darüber werden wir heute beraten. In dieser Roadmap ist es auch wichtig, dass wir vereinbaren, wie wir die Werte, die Einhaltung der Werte der EU stärken können. Da denke ich vor allen Dingen an die Rechtsstaatlichkeit. Deswegen werde ich heute eine Reihe von Vorschlägen dazu machen, wie wir die Instrumente der EU zur Stärkung der Rechtsstaatlichkeit ausbauen und auch effizienter machen können. Da geht es vor allen Dingen darum, dass wir die Finanzmittel der EU stärker an Rechtsstaatlichkeit knüpfen. dass wir auch das Artikel 7-Verfahren effizienter machen und die Kandidatenländer frühzeitig in den Rechtsstaatsdialog einbeziehen und damit eben auch vorbereiten darauf, was es heißt, ein Mitglied der EU zu sein, nämlich die Werte der EU zu achten, umzusetzen und dauerhaft zu schützen. Wir müssen die Werte der EU auch dauerhaft schützen gegen Einflüsse von außen. Wir wissen, dass eine Reihe von russischen, aber auch chinesischen Desinformationsoperationen unterwegs sind hier in der EU. Dagegen müssen wir unsere Bürgerinnen und Bürger stärker schützen, zusammenarbeiten. Und hier werden wir auch darüber beraten, wie wir die Resilienz unserer Gesellschaften gegen solche Einflüsse stärken können. Wir müssen zum Beispiel mehr investieren in Medienkompetenz. Auch eine europäische Medienplattform kann uns da helfen, denke ich. Und wir müssen auch entschlossen gegen Desinformation von außen vorgehen. Zum Beispiel auch, indem wir Sanktionen gegen diejenigen russischen Akteure verhängen, die bei Desinformationsoperationen beteiligt sind. Dankeschön.
Good morning. I'm coming from Lithuania. Lithuania is already 20 years we're the members of the European Union. And I think that our history, our reforms, our membership shows that EU enlargement policy is a success policy because that made a lot of impact on our transformation. So enlargement policy is the best policy in making the reforms. Second thing, I think that enlargement is a policy that needs a proper process. So first of all, we need to start the process with the proper reforms. But proper reforms needs rule of law to be the basis of the reform. So we advocate that the rule of law has to be the principle of all the necessary reforms. And I think that we all are going to help to listen to all the aspirant countries. If they want to do the reforms, if they want to follow the principle of rule of law, we are happy and ready to help. Second thing, I think we need to continue with not only supporting the aspirant countries, but also to continue with the very ambitious sanctions on Russia. And Lithuania, we were always calling for very ambitious and new sectors for the sanctions. First of all, LNG, enriched uranium, and all the other products, because as we see, Russian economy is adapting. Russian economy is getting a lot of billions euros from us, so we need to continue. We also need to expand the sanctions to fight the disinformation. Thank you.
This is a very important event today, and I am grateful for the organizing this to the Belgian presidency, because the rule of law principle is the basic wall in the European architecture, and so it's important that we have a detailed discussion about the situation in European Union plus the accession area and in the concrete member states and the states who have the candidate status. We have novelty, we have newly covered by our rule of law report the 4 accession countries, Albania, Montenegro, North Macedonia and Serbia. So it is giving us a chance to also compare the systems with the European member states. For the Commission, it has been over years a very important priority that we do much more to protect the rule of law as a basic principle and to defend the rule of law principle against different kinds of negative trends. So happy to be here. I will be listening very carefully because this is very important for us to understand the temperature and the conditions in different states. Thank you. I cannot give you information about investigations because it's done by the unit of the Commission which does the enforcement of the Digital Services Act, and so it belongs to them to inform in the due time of what is happening there. I am responsible for the dialogue with the digital business because I am always the one who wants from them to do more. At this moment, to do more to protect the elections and to protect the not manipulated electoral process.
Do you think that method is enough? I know that you were very careful with X platform. So do you think that this
That's the point, because we already started the enforcement of the Digital Services Act, which gives us a high level of certainty who is doing what and how, because we can now look into the algorithms. So Meta is under the obligation as X, as TikTok. As you know, we already launched the infringement procedure against TikTok as well. And after we get sufficient information from inside of the system, we can say whether the platform is doing enough or not. Thank you. Yeah, we had two discussions with the minister several months ago and yesterday, indeed. We discussed the fundamentals. I think I didn't surprise him that the European Commission insists on having the robust system of judiciary prosecution system which is able to investigate and prosecute organized crime, anti-corruption schemes and so on. So he was not surprised to hear that from my side again, that these are the main things which we focus on. But we also discussed the matters relating to the law on transparency of NGOs, and also the situation of LGBTIQ people and the planned constitutional amendment. Of course, it's my role to tell the ministers in such situations that there might be things done which might deviate from the principles of the EU, and in my view, Georgia should pay more attention to the protection of the minority like LGBT, and not to open any gate for any kind of discrimination or harsh rhetoric and attacks against the people. And the second thing, the law on NGOs, I recommended to the minister to look into our Defense of Democracy Directive, which also seeks to increase transparency of foreign financing. But I believe the EU is planning to do it in the way which will not stigmatize and putting the label of foreign agents on the NGOs.
And what is the main message of your directive?
Main message of our directive is we need to know who does what kind of lobbying for whose money. And the difference between the European and Georgian law is that we do not define those entities like NGOs. We speak about the entities operating on European single market, number one. And the second, we want to know the contracts with the third country governments, not just money from outside. These are big differences. So my message was, could you please look into how we propose it, because this is something which should not stigmatize NGOs.
Do you think that stigmatization is the main problem of Georgian draft law? There is another problem?
Well, it depends how the law is interpreted and how the law is enforced. It can look good on the paper, and we agreed on the need to achieve more transparency on foreign financing. And at the same time, I believe that we can, by this kind of law, avoid the potential stigmatization of those who are registered.
Vice President, can you confirm that you will take the lead in the negotiation with Spain for the reform of the judiciary?
We now wait for the Spanish side to settle the things, and in due time we will probably come to the negotiating table.
Okay, but have you been in contact with the main parts?
Not recently. Not recently. Thank you.
Einen schönen guten Morgen. Es fühlt sich an wie ein normaler Rat, denn wir sind in Brüssel. Allerdings ist es kein normaler Rat, es ist ein informeller und Belgien hat derzeit die Ratspräsidentschaft. Deshalb ist das Setting heute auch ein anderes. Was steht im Mittelpunkt der Gespräche und Diskussionen heute? Es sind zwei ganz wichtige Themen, nämlich Erweiterung und Rechtsstaatlichkeit. Und auch die Erweiterungskandidaten werden heute am Tisch sitzen und das ist genau das, worum es geht. Wir müssen die Integration der Europäischen Union vorantreiben. Gestern erst haben wir uns an das 20-jährige Jubiläum der Erweiterung im Jahr 2004 um 10 Mitgliedstaaten feierlich begangen, uns daran erinnert und ich glaube, es wird deutlich, dass gerade in der jetzigen geopolitischen Situation das nicht mehr so einfach möglich wäre, vor dem Hintergrund der russischen Aggression. Wir müssen uns dessen bewusst sein, dass wir nur stark sein können, wenn wir zusammenhalten, wenn wir glaubwürdige Partner sind, auch für die Erweiterungskandidaten und hier die entscheidenden Schritte setzen. Ich trete dafür ein, dass wir die graduelle Integration weiter vorantreiben und insbesondere einen Sonderkoordinator hier auch bestellen, der dafür sorgt, dass wir öfter über die Fortschritte auch der anderen Kandidatenländer sprechen. Und aus österreichischer Sicht möchte ich natürlich einmal mehr betonen, dass insbesondere die Länder des Westbalkans ganz wesentlich sind für das Zusammenführen der Europäischen Union in eine große Europäische Union der 33+. Dafür ist ein ganz wichtiger Stein, ein Konglomerat, die Rechtsstaatlichkeit neben den Menschenrechten und der Demokratie. Und ich freue mich daher sehr, dass bereits 4 Staaten des Westbalkans auch im jährlichen Rechtsstaatlichkeitsmechanismus dabei sind. Lassen Sie uns öfter mit diesen Staaten darüber sprechen, welche Schritte sie gesetzt haben. Unterstützen wir sie durch Twinning-Projekte und Ähnliches, damit sie herangeführt werden können an das Niveau der Europäischen Union. Und seien wir nicht naiv, nur wenn wir zusammenhalten und wenn wir die europäischen Werte auch weitertragen, wenn wir sozusagen die europäische Macht ausstrahlen lassen, auch auf diese Gebiete und diese Staaten tatsächlich in die Europäische Union integrieren, dann sind wir eine starke geopolitische Macht in der Welt, die auch gegen alle Challenges und Herausforderungen bestehen kann. Ich freue mich auf spannende Diskussionen und ich möchte mich ganz besonders herzlich bedanken bei der belgischen Ratspräsidentschaft für die Organisation dieses wirklich sehr tollen informellen Rates mit sehr, sehr wichtigen Themen.
les caméras.
Madame la Ministre, Isabelle Waldman, welcome at the Egmont Palace. Would you like to say a few words to the journalists?
Good to see you. How are you since yesterday? Good.
Would you like to speak to the journalists? Yes?
No, we have 5 minutes. Because we have a meeting.
Okay, good.
I'm fine. You? So great to see you. Yes, really, very good evening. Yes. Next time we will dance. No? Don't underestimate my talents. I'm a musician. Yeah. So you will play. Yes, okay. Yes. Please, come back. Secrétariat général.
Est-ce que vous souhaitez dire quelques mots? Non. Merci.
C'était très bien. Bien.
Est-ce que vous souhaitez vous adresser à la presse ou à directement chez vous?
Romania.
My colleague will show you to it.
Very pleased to meet you. That's a long doorstep. Super. And it will be a wonderful day as well, I'm sure.
Ça fait une belle soirée ce soir. Merci pour hier soir.
Oui, c'était une belle soirée.
Good thing to have a Ukrainian artist. Would you like to say a few words? press? No? Would that be on the left? It's all informal process. Would you like to say a few words to the press? I'll go down.
Thank you again since yesterday.
Merci, merci. Merci, merci. C'est très bon. Merci. À tout de suite.
Would you like to say a few words to the media? Yes, let's see. Yes. Good. Well, that's things that have a good day. No, actually, later. Okay, good.
Ja, dank u wel.
Would you like to say a few words to press?
you very much again. It was super nice yesterday. It was really interesting. Thank you very much. Thank you for the
It was my pleasure. See you later.
Thank you.
Right side. My colleague will show you the way for the doorstep. Welcome and good morning.
See you.
Okay. Good. Thank you very much. Would you like to say a few words to the journalists? Then I'll ask you to talk to your former colleague. Then I'll ask you to take the stairs on the right. Good morning.
Thank you.
Okay, then I'll ask you to take the stairs on the left. Would you like to say a few words? Yes. Then I'll ask you to take the stairs on the right. Then I'll ask you to take the stairs on the right, and my colleague will show you. Veuillez dire quelques mots aux journalistes ou aller directement serrer la main de l'autre journaliste. C'est à droite. I invite you to take the stairs on the right.
Ooh.
vois, tu sais, et le bob, quand tu vois, tu deviens